Guys, welcome back to another week of me trying to be profitable. So last week we were doing pretty amazing with us having our biggest week and getting us real close to getting out of drawdown. So yeah, let's see if we can keep that up and bring us out of drawdown this week. Okay, so overall thoughts for today while looking at the high time frame was that there were a large saturation of high time imbalances lower down with a primary zone for our DPR being untapped. And this made me favor shorts a lot more because usually high time imbalances act as a magnet for price. And my current idea for long was that price could respect these low time frame imbalances like the 15 and 5 minute fair value gaps to run bullish to the hourly high. There was an overlap of a 1 hour and 15 minute order block lower down, which if price disrespected these low time frame imbalances, we could face this overlap and I'll see how price reacts to this area. And my current idea for shorts was for price to sweep the hourly high, and with order low resistance liquidity developed to the sell side, target said liquidity and push lower. And I did have a goal today of waiting until my optimal trading time, and I'm still testing to figure out my best time to trade, but currently it's still sitting around 10 minutes before market open and 10 minutes before 2 a.m. And I heard there's something called macros, so I'll be playing into that. And macros are pretty much times where there'll be a lot more orders filled from people entering, exiting from almost candle closure and after candle closure, and that's my rough understanding so far. So I'll just try to develop my understanding a bit more by forward testing, so then being patient till then is important. As I was waiting, this 5 minute fair value gap was developed, and initially when macro time started, price ran bullish, so I was thinking that price could move bullish up to the prominent high, so I placed the entry of 2 coins. The price stalled for a little bit, which gave me some unconfidence in this trade. Because of that, I moved my entry away and just watched price. Price then came down and developed 1 minute imbalances, which were respecting bearish. Because of this, I placed a limit sell at the recent prominent low. Initially, price movement was slow, then at market open, price just plummeted and came really close to my TP. I moved my stop loss to break even at this point since I was so high in profit, but unfortunately price gained some really strong buying pressure and came up and tapped my stop loss for a small win of $3. And after price came up with strong buying pressure, price respected the low time frame imbalances, so I placed my entry at the prominent high, which ended up getting hit, and we hit target really quickly for a small profit of $70. But yeah, honestly today was not that great despite the fact that I remained in the green. I was too greedy with my TP and ended up risking all of my green just for like $10-20 extra. Looking at it from that perspective really makes me like feel stupid, you know? Makes me think what I'm doing. But yeah, I still finished the day off in the green, though I didn't feel like I deserve it. Felt more like I should have lost, so I'm grateful that NQ didn't smite me. So I just take the lesson and learn from it, and I won't make the mistake again. Alright, so today what I saw was a bunch of bullish confluences like the 15 minute order block and 5 minute fair value gap, which were currently being respected, and we also had a 1 hour fair value gap above, which I reckon could be used as a target for price. And there was a liquidity sweep prior to price tapping into the imbalances too, so I figured it could be a continuation play. And I entered this trade after price came into the macro time, and also got a nice bullish response from price tapping into the imbalances. Because of that confirmation, I entered into longs with the target to the most recent high. My risk to reward was pretty messed up with this trade with a massive like stop size, but price actually ended up coming down and hitting the stop loss for a loss of 195. And I reckon today I looked too far ahead and wasn't in the moment enough. I didn't count for price on the high time frame still respecting the bearish direction and also respecting the higher time frame bearish confluences, so it's more of a slip up in my analysis, and I felt that I was too focused on the prospect of getting out of drawdown instead of actually focusing on my performance, and that was a big mistake, so I'll be working to prevent that in the future. Alright, so today, the main imbalances I saw was the 4 hour fair value gap and 1 hour order block, and I mainly wanted to see price revisit the 1 hour order block range since price had just used it earlier and since there were LRLs to the buy side. And my thoughts for current price was that I wanted to see how price reacted to these low time frame imbalances. The 5 minute order block was the main one I wanted to see if price disrespected and it continued higher. If that was the case, then I could look for longs within my macro time. And price had already disrespected the fair value gap, so it's mainly just the order block now. And I placed my entry just below the low time frame imbalances, and I actually moved it lower just a smidge because price was chopping around the low time frame imbalance range. But after price got more clear, it came down and hit my entry. And we were actually in this trade for a bit with price walking around everywhere, and price ended up coming up and hitting our stop loss for a loss of 165. And I decided that I want to re-enter after, and the reason behind it was because price came down and continued respecting recently made low time frame imbalances. Because of that, and because of the bearish candle formation to confirm the disrespect, I ended up entering again. And this one was scary as well because price was still being very volatile in both directions, and it also stopped me out again. But price eventually came down and hit my original TP for a win of 121, which brings today's total to a loss of $41. And I did have a talk with my friend today, Ji-Eun Trades, go check him out, he's actually goated. He's been doing really well recently, and he's been in the game longer than me. But yeah, I talked to him because we took pretty similar trades, but he hit full TP. And he told me about being more comfortable with having a wider stop loss, and him saying that really got me thinking about how having a wider stop loss isn't necessarily a bad thing, even if you have to enter with less contracts. Since your stop loss is wider, it gets hit less often, and considering if your bias is correct, and the wins get more consistent as well, and in the long run you'll gain more because of the less amount of losses, and the more consistent wins help improve your mental too. So yeah, I'll be journaling that down a bit, just keeping that in mind. It's been a bit rough recently, but I reckon I can pull this shit out the fire, so we'll just move on to tomorrow. Alright, so today I was mainly just waiting. I wanted to be more patient and I wanted to be more thorough with the trade today and lower the risks too. Mentally reset today, so I felt pretty good about today, and I was just waiting for price to develop more, and I initially wanted to catch long since price was respecting the low time frame imbalances for bullish, with high time frame imbalances as well above, which acted as a target that was taking quite a bit, and I ended up taking shorts after price came down heavily and tapped into the low time frame imbalances. The high time frame was showing bearish, so I figured I could catch the move down to the prominent low, and price eventually disrespected these low time imbalances, so that was confirmation, so I entered, and I was actually doing pretty well. Price had some nice bearish power as it came down, and price seemed to be on its way to sweep south liquidity. The price started chopping, and eventually price brought up and stopped me out for a loss of $144.48. And for my mistake today, probably just entering too late. I initially didn't want to go against my thoughts at the start for longs. The price was showing that it was respecting bearish, so I took it. But because of that hesitation at the start, I entered too late and I ended up getting stopped out, which was unfortunate. And price even came up and ran for the OG move, which I wanted, which was even more unfortunate. It was within the second macro time that I didn't know of too, so I could have caught it. I walked away from the charts because I wasn't ready mental wise. But yeah, I don't know. Alright, so ending the week off earlier due to Friday having Powell speaking and a bunch of other high impact news, which made trading very unpredictable and out of my favor. So yeah, we did end up having a losing week, which is pretty unfortunate. Also, my mental was not great at the start of the week, with me being more focused on getting out of drawdown more than anything. But yeah, I tried pulling it back on the last day, but I hesitated, which led to a loss. Still clutchable, so it's alright, but I would say this week gave my mental an uppercut into a spinning back elbow, into a knee, into an axe kick. I can learn from these lessons and come back even stronger. So yeah, that's about it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, go check out my boy GL Trades. He's going crazy on the markets, bouncing on a crazy style. So yeah, just overall doing really well. And if you guys are interested, I got a Discord open as well, where we just share our trades and our thoughts, and just a good environment overall where we can help motivate each other to do better. Yeah, so join up if you guys are keen. So yeah, I'll leave a link to it in the description. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.